Hello, always a pleasure to have you join us. This is Platform. I'm Ruth Aguela. I would like to start by quoting a phrase by the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani. He says, knowledge is the foundation upon which countries build a robust and sustainable economy. As a critical prerequisite, knowledge influences how we generate innovations and technologies that drive economic growth, expand the talent pool to drive competitiveness, improve productivity, and inform evidence-based policy making, amongst others. End of quote. Knowledge, they say, is power. And one critical aspect of knowledge that nations are thriving on is digital economy. There has been a shift since the realization of the power digital economy holds in economic development. Nigeria is already on track to actualizing its vision of a robust digital nation by harnessing digital skills and innovation to promote the economy. However, there is still a vast untapped potential in the digital economy space. With Nigeria's internet gross domestic product currently at 6% and expected to double by 2050 to reach $145 billion, there is so much to anticipate. If you recall, the ICT sector contributed about 18.44% to the nation's GDP. That was in second quarter in 2022. And e-commerce spending projected to grow to $75 billion by 2025. I like the numbers. The goal is to build the transformative power of digital technology and innovation to diversify and deepen the nation's economy. Now, the National Information Technology Development Agency, that is NITDA, has a mandate to create a framework for the planning, research, development, standardization, application, coordination, monitoring, evaluation, and regulation of information technology practices in the country. In the era where Nigeria is leveraging on digital economy to bridge the unemployment margin and grow the economy, how has the agency fared in its efforts to implement the National Digital Economy Policy for a digitalized Nigeria? On Platform, we will be looking at ways of promoting digital economy and innovation. And our guest is Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi, the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. Thank you so much for joining us on Platform.
Thank you, Ruth, for having me on the platform.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your reappointment. This is your second tenure.
Thank you.
All right. So let's take you quickly through the profile of our guest. Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi is a versatile technocrat, information technology expert, and professional innovation strategist with a proven track record of excellence in solutions architecture, technology development, policy design formulation, talent development, growth management, IT operations, you name it. He is currently serving his second tenure. I just congratulated him now, okay? But since 2019, when he assumed his role as DG of NITDA, he has spearheaded several policies, programs, projects, of course, to drive government initiatives that have catalyzed the growth of Nigerian IT sector. As part of his commitment to sustain digital literacy in Nigeria, he deployed 683 digital infrastructure, which includes digital economy centers, e-learning facilities, IT community centers, IT hubs, innovation parks, and working tools across the country. Kashifu recently is an awardee of an honorary doctorate degree in business administration, which was conferred on him by California Metropolitan University, and has received several education and certifications in leadership, innovation, telecommunications, service management, networking, and solutions design from top-notch universities. Now, some of them, Harvard University, University of Cambridge, Oxford University, IMD Business School, Switzerland, London Business School, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. You could just crown it that Mr. Inuwa is Nigeria's. Also, another one to his feather is the Nigeria Public Sector's first Cisco certified Internetwork expert. Congratulations on that one.
Thank you.
You're a man of different sides. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, our panelist is one of our ICT correspondent here in NTA, Olajide Bello. Always nice to have you on platform.
Same here, Ruth.
I can call you GD.
Obviously.
All right, so Mr. Kashifu Inuwa.
So you can also call me Kashif.
Kashif. Oh, okay. I like that. But I'll prefer to stay formal, Mr. Abdullahi. Okay. So we've seen the past administration, draw the pool of innovation to drive the digital enterprise in Nigeria. There was a, big push. But we're seeing the present administration pushing even harder, to drive digital economy with the creation of digital jobs through digital skills and innovation. If you want to look at the narrative for Nigeria, how we're progressing, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think growth, productivity, and prosperity for all are at the core of President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. And the President has mandated our ministry, the Ministry of Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy, to accelerate Nigerian economic diversification by enhancing productivity in critical sectors. Because ICT is pervasive. Yeah. It's not just telecommunication or core IT, but in all critical sectors. When you enhance productivity, you raise GDP and you create wealth and prosperity. Yeah. So the president gives us a mandate to enhance that productivity through technological innovation. So to deliver this mandate, the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, launched a strategic plan which has 5 strategic pillars. Firstly, knowledge. Secondly, policy. Thirdly, infrastructure. Fourthly, innovation, entrepreneurship, and capital. And lastly, but not the least, trade. So NITDA is positioned, or we are recalibrating ourselves to implement this policy. NITDA was established in 2001 to implement national IT policy. And our mandate, like you said, we have a mandate to come up with framework to standard policies that can help improve the use of technology in general. And in 2019, the former President Muhammadu Buhari, designated our ministry and expanded its mandate to cover digital economy. Before, the ministry was called Ministry of Communications, but in 2019 was designated to Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. That expanded our mandate, even at the agency level. And we crafted strategic roadmap on how to implement that. That means technology is not the end, but it's a means to an end. The end is how can we use technology to improve our productivity? How can we use technology to enhance efficiency in our businesses and improve the economy in general?
Okay, I like the drive the administration is pushing, especially when it comes to digital skills and innovation. There's a whole lot we're going to touch around that area. Let me let Jide come in now.
All right, many thanks, Ruth. Mr. Abdullahi, let's take a look at digital literacy, which is one of the core mandates of NITDA. NITDA provides ICT as a tool in, tertiary institutions to drive the mechanism and in the education sector in this country. How far have you gone on this so far, and what are the feedbacks you're getting?
So, digital literacy is a critical factor when it comes to digital economy, because digital literacy is about having our citizens to have the ability to safely and responsibly use digital devices and platform. Yeah. And under the strategic pillar, we have knowledge as the first pillar. And under knowledge, we have 3 initiatives, which digital literacy is one of those 3 initiatives. In the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy formulated in 2019, we set a target for us as a nation to achieve 95% digital literacy by 2030. And now the Minister, Dr. Bosun Tijani, set a midterm target for us to achieve 70% digital literacy by 2027. So we have started implementing some of the initiatives, and we have crafted the National Digital Literacy Framework, which was signed into law in August this year. So the National Digital Literacy Framework was co-created by the ecosystem. It's not only done by government. We started the process in 2020 during the lockdown, because under the lockdown we realized that some people were totally cut off from any service. So only those who are digitally literate were able to be engaged under the lockdown, because they can use their devices to access online services. So we realized that it is mandatory, or it is a must for every citizen to have that skills. Whether you go to school or not, you should be able to use your digital devices and consume digital services. Let me give you an example. I know someone who cannot read and write, but can take his mobile phone, open WhatsApp and send voice message. And you can reply him through voice messages. So if we have apps that can interact with the technology, with AI, you can have, there are apps that have the natural language ability that you can interact, you can open and ask the app to do things for you online. So we can increase digital literacy by doing that. So we have already started implementation of the NDLF, the Nigerian Digital Literacy Framework, which we are using the ecosystem. 2 weeks ago, we had a policy dialogue here in Abuja, and it was sponsored by GIZ, so you can see how participatory the process is.
Yes, because I was going to ask you if you're going to achieve the roadmap you talked about that was unveiled by the minister, very strategic areas. You need partnership, you need collaborations, especially with the international communities, especially in the era where we're seeing emerging technologies and innovations. And we have a pool of talents for Nigeria. And I know the agency is pushing hard to drive, to get that on talent hunt, rather, for startups in the area of innovations and research. So,
yes. So on the digital literacy, we are already doing that. We have them on board. We have the GIZ, we have UNICEF, we have many of them. They are willing to participate. Like last year, we signed an MOU with Microsoft to train 5 million Nigerians. Just recently, Wema Bank also signed an MOU with the federal government of Nigeria on an initiative called Skills Innovation, on how to train SMEs on all this digital literacy, how they can use content creation, digital marketing to boost their own products and services. So apart from digital literacy, also we have the tech talent, because under the knowledge we have 3 initiatives. Digital literacy, our target is to achieve 70% by 2027. Implementations include reviewing curriculums of our education system from kindergarten to university, which we are engaging the Ministry of Education to achieve this. Then on the other hand is the Tech Talent Program, which was launched early this week on Monday to train 3 million Nigerians, because digital literacy is about having the ability to use the services, while tech talent is about building the services in country, because we need to be digitally independent. We cannot depend on any country to build our digital services. We need our citizens to be able to build all digital services we need in Nigeria. So the tech talent, we are also looking to achieve two things with it. Firstly, to meet our local tech demand, the talent demand. And secondly, to position Nigeria as the global talent net exporter, because talent is a huge market on its own. Because according to Conferry's research, by 2030, there would be 85 million talent deficit globally, which will result to 8.5 trillion US dollars unrealized annual value. All developed countries will have this deficit. Only India will have a surplus of 1 million. But the report didn't consider Africa in general. And we believe Africa and Nigeria in particular, we have the competitive advantage to fill this global talent deficit. We can position ourselves. We'll have Nigerians living in Nigeria and working remotely for international organizations.
Now, if I get you correctly, Mr. Abdullahi, these are different segmented areas that the agency is looking at to pull talent. The technical aspect is there, and the other one you mentioned for startups. There are numbers, you know, attributed to them for the technical aspect. So I'm looking at the numbers for the job by 2025. That's the 2 million jobs. Now, how do people, young people, because we have a lot of talents in Nigeria, innovators, young innovators, even those that are not young, who are doing so much in their little space. How are you, you know, targeting those persons? What do they need to do to come on board? Because these are really good areas that will benefit them.
Yeah, we have launched the registration portal. All they need to do is to go and register, and we are trying to create an ecosystem. In the portal, you can register as a fellow, as someone who wants to be part of the training.
Okay.
Then you can register as a training provider, because we want to run this training across 36 states plus FCT. Okay. So we need training providers in all states, and we also need partners, those that can support us in terms in kind or in cash with fund and so on. We need partners, and also we need placement organizations that will place these fellows, the participants, on jobs after the training. These jobs could be local jobs or international jobs. Okay. But we encourage living in Nigeria, working abroad.
Okay. All right. Aside the fact that you can go online and, you know, apply as an applicant to be trained, what other yardstick does the agency use to, you know, pick this young and promising talent?
So we conducted an assessment before, the IT talent gap assessment, to identify skills in demand locally and globally. So based on that, we listed the areas. You can choose your area of choice where you want to be trained on. Then based on, also part of the requirement of the training providers is success on job placement. So the minister came up with an initiative that we are starting with 1% now, we'll move to 10% and then 100%. The 1% of 3 million is 30,000. We are starting with training 30,000 Nigerians in the next 3 months.
How are you going to get them? I'm sure that's what Jide wants to find out.
Yes, we have already opened the call for application. As of this morning, over 260,000 Nigerians have applied for it. So we will select, there is a selection criteria which is listed, and also there is going to be some engagement, like after analyzing, maybe to do one-on-one, either a test or an interview, to ensure the readiness of the participant to be part of that training. You know, sometimes people just apply for the sake of applying. So, but we don't want just be training people for the sake of training. We want trained people that after training, they can get jobs.
But are you also considering the numbers that will be left? I know you're starting with 1%, the next is 10% after a time frame of 3 months. Are you considering the remaining numbers that will be left from the numbers of people that would have applied to go for the next stage of the 10%?
Yeah.
Because you can't just throw the numbers away.
Yes, it's based on the criteria. If they meet the criteria, we'll consider them in the next stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jide, go ahead.
Okay, now after the 3 months training, and maybe they've completed their training in either tech or whichever discipline they choose, mine is there going to be an interface between NITDA and these young bred talents to ensure that you know, all that they have been taught wouldn't just, you know, go into extinction just like that, so that the aim of the program will be achieved?
So, you know, everything was co-created. The process, it's not that the ministry or NITDA sat in the office and came up with this. The minister invited the ecosystem players, the academia, the development partners, the training providers, government agencies. We had a workshop with them, and after the workshop, we invited also the investors and also agencies that fund training to come for another workshop. So we reviewed all that and we came up with this initiative, because it's not just going to be the normal government program, you train people, that's the end. No, we are creating an ecosystem and industry. So it's not only NITDA doing the training, it's not only ministry. Ministry is supervising and coordinating everything, but we are going to have all players to be part of it. Because even the corporate organization that will take these fellows, that will provide jobs for them, they have input to it, because we listen to their skills in demand, what kind of skills they want to have in their organization. So it is based on that we design this training. And the training providers, part of the KPIs we are giving them is the success of placement.
Okay.
If you train 1,000 people, how many got jobs locally? How many got internationally? How many are able to start their own business after that training? So we use that as a KPI to measure your performance for the next stage of the training.
Yeah, because what you're mentioning has a whole lot, it's encompassing, and it requires a lot of funding. And I'm glad you're mentioning partners involved in those who will, you know, support directly or indirectly. But from the agency's own point of view, when you're looking at all these initiatives you're coming up with, because building capacity is expensive, and you're looking at numbers in millions. What other areas are you looking at to get funding?
Yeah, the best one is to get the development partners and also the private sector to be part of it. In addition, the student loan launched by the president also can help in that. And there are also businesses that train people and put them on jobs to pay after getting jobs. Yeah. So we are bringing all this on board. So government is just enabling the environment. When we enable, maybe next time government doesn't need to even invest in the training itself, because we are creating industry. The industry will pick up, people will train and get profit even on top of that. Like I said, it is going to be 8.5 trillion US dollars market. So the business people, when they realize, they will hijack everything. They will train and place people on jobs. Like India is doing it through business process outsourcing. Today, India is making over 100 billion US dollars annually, just having people working remotely for international organizations from India.
And the numbers we're seeing in terms of the outcry, experts are calling for Africa. Currently, Africa accounts for 1% or so for global economy and global digital economy, compared to 68% for USA or 22% for China and the rest. And this is a huge opportunity. When there is a deficit, when there is a gap, of course, it's an opportunity. I know Nigeria is already on that roadmap to meet the target, whichever year we're looking at. But looking inward, local content, aside, leveraging on emerging technologies, what about local content? How is the agency, harnessing local content?
Local content is critical to all our initiatives. We have a subsidiary called the Office of the Nigerian Digital Innovation under, which coordinate all our local content initiatives. We train startups, they create jobs, we encourage them to build their products and services, and also to stay in Nigeria. And the new strategic roadmap has two things that will help in achieving that. The fourth pillar is innovation, entrepreneurship, and capital. We encourage our people to be innovative, to be entrepreneurs. When you are innovative, you have entrepreneurial spirit. You could be able to start and grow your business. Yeah. And we make capital available for you to scale up. Then trade. We encourage you to remain in Nigeria and trade with other countries. That's why we are having this international conference to make the Nigerian ecosystem more stronger and create visibility globally. This will allow trade to happen.
Okay, I like the fact you just mentioned the Nigeria Digital Day, and of course that's actually one aspect we'll touch now after this break. Please stay tuned.
What are we doing as a nation to first of all settle our teeming populace, especially
NTA's political package with a third eye on the nation's political scene? I am Fisa Ogunfuyi. Welcome.
You have to be very careful giving space to people who are obviously sponsored to further the agenda of some other groups.
There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions in a closed door sessions. Some of these issues, some of the problems bedeviling of their
In fact, between June 1st and July 17, 19-point-something billion has left the coffers of the NDDC.
I can say my constituency, they need everything, because we don't have anything.
Welcome back. Thanks for being there. The conversation is still on promoting digital economy and innovation. Mr. Abdullahi, you just mentioned the Digital Day Nigeria. Of course, we've seen that play out comprehensively. It's a platform where a lot of technology enthusiasts come together to showcase what they have. Let's call it the buy and sell market. Yeah. All right, so but just fill us in the whole essence of this and what Nigeria stand to gain.
So like you said, Digital Nigeria International Conference is a platform for exploring the vast potential of digital technologies for economic growth and sustainability in Nigeria. This year's edition is focusing on how to harness digital technologies for job creation, inclusive economic growth and sustainability. So most of the focus is how can we use this digital technology in line of the renewed hub agenda to enhance productivity in agriculture, in finance, in health, in any sector you can think of. Doing that will help us have more digitally transformed enterprises, will increase productivity that can lead to economic growth and prosperity for all. So it serves also as a platform for innovators, startups, tech leaders, top government officials, and investors to network, connect, and engage in conversations that can propel Nigeria to the forefront of the global digital economy. Nigeria, we have a competitive advantage when it comes to our youthful population, our talent. We are naturally talented, and we have high IQ. So when you combine this together, you bring all these people, our best and brightest minds, to this place. This trigger conversations around innovations. It can be an inspiration for our young innovators and startups when they network with the role models, the people they look up to, and also that can lead to having policies and regulation that can stimulate activities. Policies, regulations should not be created in silos. And if people don't come together and talk, you won't know the pain points, and you won't be able to know what kind of policy the government need to put in place. So after these conversations, we have ideas on the kind of policies that can create new markets, that can democratize access to digital services and products around the country. And also it provided a platform for our young innovators to showcase their products and brands to all stakeholders locally and internationally, because we have a huge delegation from Europe, from US, Asia, all over the world coming to see what is happening in Nigeria. And I strongly believe this can help to make our ecosystem more stronger and give us visibility internationally. And like I said, we all do this to encourage trade. As people converge together, they discuss this, there will be exchange in terms of ideas, knowledge, in terms of selling our products and technologies to the global market. So basically the conference has been our flagship program, but from last year we are making it bigger, and it's becoming a game changer.
And better.
And better.
Okay, Jide.
All right, just like you said, a recent series of the conference has been adjudged as a huge success, considering the gains Nigeria has been, harnessing in terms of technology over the years. Now, this year, we're looking at other sectors too that is going to benefit, no doubt. Are there areas in the last conference that were like lacunas that you think can be improved upon during this conference?
Most of the last year was a very big success as well, because most of the topics discussed last year and recommendations were fully implemented. One of them was blockchain, about cryptocurrency and many more. Yeah. And we have formulated the national blockchain policy. We've trained over 30,000 Nigerians on blockchain. CBN has lifted ban on use on the cryptocurrency and many more, so that Nigerians can use blockchain to innovate in many sectors, not only the financial sector, because you can use blockchain in a lot of administration purpose, like land registry, certificate verification, and many more. And you can use it in the logistic area, you can use it in other areas, because it is like AI as well. It is pervasive and a general purpose technology. Then from this year, if you look at the first day, focus was about also using these emerging technologies to enhance productivities. We discussed about AI, how you can use it in healthcare, how you can use it in agriculture to boost productivity. We also discussed blockchain and many more. And the second day focused more on consumer technology and creative economy. How we can use this technology, because everybody consumes technology. Yes. But what are the focus? The kind of look and feel. How can it be the simplicity of it? All this is very important to consumers. And also what kind of technologies the consumers need for, like SMEs, B2B business, and citizens to government, government to citizens.
I also like the fact you included the creative aspect of it, because that aspect was in the digital drive.
Yes.
Content creators, we have that a whole lot.
Yeah. Okay. And the last day, it is about GovTech. How can we digitalize government services? Because President Tinubu has been talking about improving productivity in government. To achieve that, we need to digitalize government services. We discuss about digital public infrastructure. How can we build the Nigerian digital public infrastructure stack so that we can have our young innovators and startups build digital offerings and services on top of that digital public stack. So also the kind of policies government need to put in place that can trigger and ignite activities in all these sectors. For example, when CBN issued the IT standard for banks, for them to digitalize their services, that what led to creating fintech industry. That what led to the growth in the financial sector. So we are looking at other sectors also, like agriculture. If we can issue or we have a strong policy on smart agriculture, that can boost productivity in agriculture sector.
Is that on the pipeline?
It is on the pipeline, because the AI research also we are doing is looking at how we can use AI in agriculture.
And it's good you just led me to the next point, the artificial intelligence, which I know the ministry unveiled the Nigerian Artificial Intelligence Research Scheme that tends to, pull about 5 million thereabout jobs in that aspect. Tell us how that will go, because this is not the first time Nigeria is putting its, feet down when it comes to AI. And I see the progression, even though we're not there like other developed nations, but I see the progression.
Yeah, the grant is about 5 million naira grant you can access as a startup or as an innovator, not 5 million jobs.
Sorry,
so we are targeting 5 million for 45 researchers that will do research on how we can come up with ideas using blockchain in about 9 critical sectors, including agriculture, healthcare, finance, and many more. We want to use the input to make our AI policy more robust. We have the initial draft, but we want to make it more inclusive and co-created with the ecosystem, because sometimes the problem we are having when it comes to policy implementation is we formulate in silo. The policy makers formulate policies in silos, while the change makers and impact makers, they are the ones that actually implement those policies. But bringing them together, taking their own perspectives and building it as part of the policy formulation process will help us to have a policy for execution, not policy for the sake of having policy.
It's good the agency or the ministry is tilting towards effective implementation. If you want this ecosystem to be sustainable, that is actually what we require, because oftentimes in other sectors we get to see just implement policies there, but not really effectively implemented. Jide, I'm sure you want to ask a follow-up question to that.
Yes, still talking about AI, in some developed climes, they're already scared that, people would tend to lose their jobs eventually.
People here.
And we hear that we're still grappling with, meeting up with employment. How do we strike a balance?
Well, firstly, we are implementing all these initiatives because we want to be part of building the AI. We don't want to take a back seat to just use AI. So we want to be part of building the AI. And if you look at it, AI, mostly we use it either as an agent or as a tool. As an agent means we have the technology trying to do what human can do.
Yeah.
So that's where we have fear of AI can take over our jobs. But also that, if you look at it very carefully also, we can, if we build it to serve humanity, it is not going to take jobs, but it will help us do the work for us. For example, if we have a robot that can do
you can use the camera, for example, because they should be scared a bit.
Yeah, but I want to take it so that a layman can understand it when it comes to job replacement.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, you have a farm today. If you have a human working at that farm, can produce maybe 10 bags of rice. But if you can use a robot that can produce 20 or 30, that means it will make it easier for us.
So it enhances productivity.
It enhances productivity.
Yes.
And also, if you look at all the fear we have is about resource, the limited resources we have. What if AI can increase the productivity and there will not be any resource scarcity? You get everything you need and the AI can do it for you. I think we can just relax and enjoy our life.
Yeah, so nobody is losing their jobs, eh?
Nobody is using their job, but it's increasing our productivity.
Yeah.
But the other side of it, the other people, they are looking at it from the singularity view.
Yes.
What if this AI go out of control and start destroying the world instead of building it?
That's actually a critical aspect that should be looked into.
Yes.
Is there consideration in that? Because we get to see, well, make-believe in movies, but this is actually what can play out in reality.
Yes, so there is a move on building the AI to work for humanity, not to destroy the humanity. And that's how it comes to having principles of building AI systems, how to have a safety brake on those systems. Because lack of the safety brake, that's what will make it to go out of control.
Yeah.
But if you have that safety brakes built as part of it, and also you build it with the security in mind, because mostly the challenge, most of the technology, we build it for profit without considering other factors.
Yeah.
But if we build it with that mindset, it will be totally under control. So the move is we need to have everybody to be on board. This is beyond being a software engineer, because we are building system for social purposes. So you need to be a social engineer to build an AI system. That means if you are building a system that can be used for security purposes, you need to have people that understand laws. You need to have people that understand security to be part and parcel of building that system. So if we go with the best practices, we'll put it under control. The best practice is technology is always the last. Firstly, you need to look at why do you need it? What are the business objectives of building that technology? So you need to have your business architecture. You need to have the system architecture to consider all the people, the actors you need to be involved, and the law and the regulations that need to be part of it. So you build that system with this mindset. If you build it, it will be totally under our control.
Okay. Jide, your final question? We're winding down gradually.
Just before the question, I think we should take up the challenge of building the first AI presenter for NTA. What do you think?
Last year in December, we launched the first African humanoid
yes.
robot.
You know, I was going to ask you, where is Imefe?
Yeah, I was privileged to launch on behalf of the former vice president. And at that time, I challenged them to look at one of our real-life problems and use Omefe for that. And last week, we launched Omefe for digital literacy. They built an app. You know, robot, you can have, there is what we call bots. That's an application robot, not the physical one. So Omefe for digital literacy is a bot that you can use, you can interact to learn more about digital literacy.
Because the last time you were here, you talked about Imefe having to be able to speak different languages. Has that progressed?
Yes. Now, Omefe, you can interact with Omefe to understand how you can use your digital devices, your mobile phone, or your computer safely. Omefe can advise you on what to do and what not to do online. Omefe also can guide you on how to maybe shop online and so on. So we are developing it, and we are Omefe also is understanding Nigerian languages today.
It's a good initiative, and I hope Omefe will be duplicated.
Yes.
There's plan for that.
That's the idea. We are working with them. We will give them some grants as well to develop it to reach that, because we also want to build all this system. We need to have our local super apps that can be used for public goods.
Okay.
It's not always that you build system for profit.
You know why I asked that? So we don't all start pulling Omefe at different angles. Please attend to me now, you know? All right.
You have Omefe on your mobile phone.
Great.
Every person will have that.
As an app.
And
As an app.
As an app.
Okay.
And it can be customized and personalized to you.
Great. So what's the future for digital economy in Nigeria? Very briefly, because we're out of time.
Yeah, when you were setting the stage, you talked about ICT contributing over 18%.
18.44%.
18.44%. For me, I think we need to look at that again and rebase the contribution of digital economy to our GDP. Because it is beyond just using telecommunications and content creation and so on. If you look at the financial sector, it is ICT or digital is the backbone. If today you remove that digital from financial sector, it will collapse.
All right, let's leave it there. Thank you so much, Mr. Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi. He's the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, that is NITDA. Thank you for your contributions. We wish you the best. We could see your commitment, your passion and drive, you know, for digital economy in Nigeria. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Olajide Bello, our ICT correspondent here in NTA. Thank you so much for your contributions on platform.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, we've been discussing promoting digital economy and innovation. The vision for the future of digital economy seems bright, and it is a reality. Yes, it is not a mirage. It will happen. Whatever you picture for Nigeria will definitely come to pass. And that's what technology is all about. And that's Platform. I'm Ruth Aguilera. Bye.